thought I'd give you guys a build rundown of the shop car. It's been asked a few times, kind of what all we're running. So I thought I would go through, start at the front or whatever parts we can, find and look at and whatnot. We'll start from there, and hopefully answer some questions about what we're doing with the car. It'll change a lot as we put new parts on it or get a new power plant, something like that. Right now it's just a basic stock bottom end 5.3. A lot of the chassis stuff we're doing is pretty nice stuff. That's because we're basically just paying for tubing and materials, so there's not a lot of cost involved with this for us. Some people, this is one of the biggest costs, is getting a chassis built, but for us it's just our free time to do it, so that's why we're doing some really cool stuff on it. So thought I would just go and give you guys kind of a rundown. So I am going to start with go with the drivetrain first. So this is our L33 aluminum block. It's just stock piston, stock rod, stock crank. We do have a pretty cool fuel pump setup on it. This is a Joe Blow Speed Shop front timing cover with their adapter and a Magnum Fuel 1000 pump. This setup, the shop car will be on methanol. It's gonna be I really don't like taking taking like 6-7 bags of ice to the track, and it's more hassle. The whole idea behind this build is simplicity. I just want it simple, easy to go out. I know methanol has some maintenance stuff to it, but it's a race car. It's gonna have maintenance whether you like it or not. So as far as the motor goes, that's about it. John Bewley did the cam on it, and then I went through it and freshened it up and gave it new bearings, and basically freshened the block up. So it's pretty much ready to go. Nothing's been machined or anything like that. It's just a stock rebuild. I don't really do a lot of motor builds. I do it for my own shop car, or I had a Camaro before this, so I did it for that. So I enjoy doing different stuff than fab, but I don't know if I would build a motor for anyone else. I don't know, it's a weird thing. So eventually I would like to get a nice short block with some head, I guess a long block, and make a lot more power. But if this can reliably make, I don't know, 900 to 1,000, I'd be happy, because that car's gonna be pretty light. So we're going for lightweight, so we don't have to have 15 grand in a motor. So on top of this motor, we are gonna have a Holley, their dual injector base. It'll have 16 injectors. They are 220s from Carter Motorsports. Kind of a basic, again, budget methanol setup, nothing fancy, no billet atomizers or anything. So that's about it. It's a shear fab upper plenum, and then we still have to get a throttle body. So that's kind of it from, I guess, oil pan up. We're just gonna have some basic stock heads. I went through and ported them a little bit, kind of reworked them a little, but no crazy valves or whatever, just basic. Yeah, so that's it on that. Let's, I guess, go forward a little bit. So we do have let me move this real quick. We'll just set this. Got There we go. Yeah, before we get to the turbo, obviously this is on top, so I'm just gonna go through it. So the office is kind of shop car storage. Usually not this crazy, but it's a good spot, and it keeps it relatively dust free, you know, obviously dust free. So this converter might get swapped out. I don't know yet. When I had my Camaro, I had this spec'd. So this converter's for a lot heavier car, like 3,200 pound car. That car is going to be 2,400 pounds of me in it, so huge weight difference. I really don't want to get rid of it because I just want to run the car and see what it does. But then again, I don't know. I'm undecided on that. We'll get there when we cross that road. We're probably going to be selling the Bte Torque Converter. It was spec'd for my Camaro, my red Camaro that I showed you guys in the first video, because that was going to be probably a 3,100 pound car. They're not light, and it just has an 850 cage on plate, so we could run it, but I wanted a chassis. I wanted a safe chassis that we wouldn't have to keep upgrading. We could keep just put motor trans in it and go faster without having to backtrack. So that's why we built this car, because it will be a 25.2 chassis, which will be plenty for anything we ever have for it. So talked with Pete at Hughes Performance. He was a huge help. So I believe we're going to be picking up one of their bolt together torque converters. Not something I want to spend that much money on, but we want to do all kinds of different types of races. We're basically going to race wherever we fit in. So, you know, whether it be like no prep or, you know, a radial test night at Gateway or whatever, I wanted to be able to swap setups around and go run anything. So I think the converter would be a limitation if we wanted to do that. So the bolt together is kind of a end all converter. We don't have to, you know, send it in, you know, back and forth. And the pricing on it is, I mean, you send a converter in 2 or 3 times, it pays for itself. So, oh, another thing, to run like Rocky Mountain Race Week, it requires a lot of driving, and it requires towing a trailer. So I talked with Hughes, and they said, or Pete said that so there's different types of converters for, I'm trying to make this not all technical and whatnot. Different types of converters for different types of applications, and street driving requires you know, a different converter. So you don't want to build up a ton of heat in the converter. It'll burn it up. So that's the stator that's going to be in it for Rocky Mountain Race Week will be a completely different stator than what we use for like normal track use. So that's kind of why we're opting for a Hughes bolt together, because that Bte, while it might work for this, the weight is totally off. I mean, this car is going to be, I'm hoping for like 2,400 pounds with me in it. So that was spec for a 3,200 pound car. So the power levels might be the same, but the weight and chassis is totally different. So that's probably what we'll end up doing. And he gave out a ton of useful info for us. So I like to support those type of people that, you know, they have that info and they have that knowledge. It's kind of why we went with AFCO also. Eric is a huge help. I mean, you know, he doesn't have to talk to us. We're a nobody. There's a lot more important customers, but when someone takes the time to, you know, help you out, and I mean, he sent long messages with a lot of info in it. So huge shout out to them and Eric, because they're just sources of info, and you know, I'm not afraid to give them a call on, you know, Monday and say, hey, car's doing this, what should we do? So that's the type of people I like to support. So that's it for the converter. For the turbo, we have a Force Inductions S491. It does have a tile turbine housing on it, so it's just a V-band style. Save like 15 pounds, or not 15. It's something crazy though. I got that from a guy on Turbo Bullet. He ran it for very little runtime, so kind of excited about that. It's a really nice turbo. I have a Powerglide back there. It was a stock case. It was built by Greg at Transigo, kind of a local company. So I swapped stock case out for recase. So I went through it, and I'm kind of a big person on doing it myself to learn it, because with this car we're gonna be doing a lot of like drag week and Rocky Mountain Race Week. So I wanted to get familiar with the Powerglide. I've been inside one, but I wanted to understand it a little bit more. So I went through it, learned it, put it back together with a nice case on it, so I don't have to worry about putting a blanket or a shield or anything. So that's that. Got the converter. We got some tile wastegates. Those are pretty basic. We're gonna run 2 off, one off each bank. Let's see here. What else? I do have a fire rate system. It is the 20-pound dual activate. So one system is going to be the front nozzles on the motor side, and then the auto activator is going to be on the driver side. So it'll have 4 nozzles in the engine bay, 4 nozzles on me, and then the one inside will be auto activated. So that way, if there's fire, it'll just pop off anyway. That's it on that. Got some weld front wheels. Don't have rear wheels yet. Hopefully getting those soon. Kind of been on the lookout. So we're gonna run with that rear end. We're gonna run let me get this right. It's a 15x10 with a 3-inch backspace to run the 20 or the 235s for the class at Rocky Mountain Race Week, and then we're gonna have a set of 15x12s with a 4-inch backspace for 275s. So I gotta buy two sets of wheels, which I don't know, kind of sucks because we're not gonna use the 15x10s very often. They'll just kind of be for 235 events. Let's see here. We do have all Racecraft front suspension. I actually got those from Shane's car that's over there, you guys saw. So drop spindles, lower control arms. I do have the steering rack. I think that is it as far as in here goes. The madness that is in here. I guess let's take a walk out here. So I got some stuff over here. It's a little bit madness because I've been working today. Steering rack. Do have Willwood brakes. We got a brake mount from them. So we'll be running that. It flips it from the outside to the inside of the car. Let's see, what else do we have? Got some Maven turbo mounts. One of those is for John, but this will be what's mounting the turbo up front. Haven't really decided on a place for that yet, so kind of waiting until I get the motor in it. That's it over there. I do have a couple pieces up there, but that's just interior stuff like that. Some random tires. So let's see. Wiring. We're gonna have Ryan Hoffman up at Jolt. He's doing most of the harness. We're gonna be running a Holley Dominator, and then we're gonna do the ECU Master PDM. Like I said, I want this simple. So PDM is, power wire, and then all your outputs go from there to power. So you don't have a ton of wiring on relays and stuff. Like I said, easy, simple. Well, relatively simple. I don't, I've never ran a PDM, so we'll see how that goes. It's gonna be a big learning curve on this car. That's why we're hoping to get it done before Rocky Mountain Race Week, before we go. And I don't know, I would hate to take the car straight from here, straight out there with like hardly any testing, and it would just be, I don't know, it'd be rough. Like my Camaro, when I did Drag Week in 2016, I've been racing it for a year, so I got used to it, got all the bugs worked out. That's the biggest thing with big builds like this, is you got a ton of bugs to figure out, wiring, just little stuff that comes loose. So let's see here. We do have a Kirky. I think the part number is a 45700. So found this one from someone on Facebook and got it. Like you guys saw before when we were building the chassis, we had to fit the driver compartment around this seat because it's pretty big. Probably do like an M&M shifter, maybe. Trying to think what else is inside the car. There's not much else inside. I think we're gonna be running a carbon drive shaft just for safety reasons. Let's see. So we haven't really decided on a radiator setup yet. Originally, it was gonna go in the rear, and we were going to plumb everything forward. But we started looking at this back here, and let me move this deck lid. So, whoop! Try not to scratch. We just got this VFN deck lid in. Try not to scratch the shit out of it. So we were gonna run a radiator laid up underneath here, with lines running forward. More we got thinking about it, we have to run a big fuel cell for Rocky Mountain Race Week. That's the main reason we're building the car for this year. So fuel cell is probably going to sit something like this and then come up. So there's really no room to put a radiator in here without it being, hanging crazy low. So it's most likely going to have to go up front. Plus running water lines over this is going to be quite an issue. The floors are, the lines would have to go through the car, not under the car, because we're going to make a floor pan. So kind of sucks on that portion of it. So it's probably going to have to go up front, but really want to do a front mount turbo like here-ish area. Then we also have to have a fuel cell up here, which is 3 gallons. So yeah, as you can tell, you don't think you have a lot of stuff until you start shoving 10 pounds of stuff in a 5-pound bag. So yeah. Let's see here. Obviously, it's our rear end housing, our 4-link housing. We're gonna run a all strange. It'd be strange 40 spine axles, strange third member, and strange brakes all the way around. Probably gonna have all 4 corners are gonna be AFCO big guns, with our regular quarter max and a roll bar. I haven't got those yet. Just kind of waiting. Like I said, this is, we don't have a massive budget, so trying to buy stuff in the logical order and try to beat all the COVID stuff that's plaguing the industry right now. So trying to get stuff in a logical order. That way we can keep rolling on it, and we're also getting ahead on parts, so we're not waiting. So I'm sure you guys know all about that. Outside the car, we're just gonna run stock doors for now. We'll do fiberglass doors later on, stuff like that. We just throw the stock ones back on there and be done with it. Composites, we got Schoenig composite front end and hood. Got a 4i front end. Thought we'd do a little different setup, but now it seems everyone's going 4i, so it is what it is. I thought it was cool because My mom had a 4i, like a 80, I don't remember what year. One of the 4i years. She had it. It was like a white with a blue stripe, I believe it was something like that. So I thought it was cool. Just run a 4i. They're a little bit more aerodynamic. It's not so flat here, so I'm hoping it helps a little bit. Opted for the grill opening so we can get a little fresh air back there. I did just show you the Vfn Rear Deck Lid. I did have one I bought from Shane, but the Zeus holes are in a different location than what I have them in, so really didn't want to go and fill all the holes and then look weird, and if we don't get it painted or wrapped, it's going to look weird and awful. So just went ahead and bought a Vfn Rear Deck Lid with John and Samsel bought a bunch of stuff from Vfn, so I just tagged on my little order on theirs. It's gonna have carbon tubs. Those are the carbon composite from Jerry Bickle. They're 36-inch wheel tub. It's gonna get cut down a lot, so it won't look this massive. Let's see here. What else? Man, I think that's about. I mean, this is pretty simple. There's not much going on here. Haven't really decided what we are gonna do. Like I said, on the fuel cell, we got a bunch of lines to run. Then we're gonna have to either plumb it into the 3-gallon tank or have to swap lines around every day and at Rocky Mountain Raceway. So haven't really got there. We want to get everything in there, get it set and mocked up and ready to go, and then we will kind of go from there. Yeah, I really don't think. I mean, this is a pretty simple build. We're not trying to, rotate the earth with it, or we just want something fun to go race, kind of hang out with our customers at the track, and show off what we can do on a car. That's why we're putting a lot of time into the chassis. But yeah, I guess I'll let you guys know if I get any more parts in. That's kind of the quick rundown. We have a lot of parts from Motion Raceworks on it. Marty Maryland, he got us these 4-link brackets. You guys have seen these because I brag on him a ton. He's been helping us out a ton. So if you guys ever need anything from him, please do so. He's done a lot of stuff for us on this car, helped us out a ton, and he's supplying a bunch of parts that we use in the shop every day. And so that's about it. I don't have anything else for you guys. There's a bunch of small detail stuff that I'm missing, but that's the gist of it. So I guess an overview, it's just a 5.3 aluminum block, stock bottom end. It's got head studs, as you saw, a cam. Oh, it'll have Johnson lifters. Hoping to spin it pretty high. S491 by forced inductions, a glide, 9-inch. So that's about it. Thanks, guys, for going over it. Hopefully that answers some questions that you guys have had, as we've gone. I see them pop up in the YouTube comments every once in a while. So if you guys have any more questions, don't be afraid to comment or, contact us anyhow. We're more than happy to answer questions and help you guys out on your own builds.